Welcome to the Time Capsule Show, where we explore the meaning of life in the 21st century through the eyes of people just like you and me. I'm Joenrhuz.
And I'm Joerenz.
And today we have a very talented duo. You may recognize them from their singing, rather harmonizing on YouTube and TikTok, where they've garnered the attention of millions of people on the internet. Please welcome Kellan and Kevin. Welcome, guys.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
How's it going?
Doing great. How are you guys?
Good. We're excited to be here. We've been looking forward to this for a while now. So to have the day here to chat with you guys is great.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, likewise. We just really appreciate it. Yep. So can you guys just tell us more about yourselves, what you guys do on, off the camera?
Yeah. So we're Kellan and Kevin. We're essentially a band. We've been making music now for, I guess it's been probably 8 months or so. But what we started by doing was making TikToks. And we started, actually, it was a year ago on, I believe, the 27th. This Saturday, it'll be exactly a year ago. We posted our first kind of big TikTok. And we sing on TikTok. We do harmonies together. We sing. We're roommates, so we just kind of have fun, positive vibes, and that's kind of our jam.
Nice. Where did you guys meet?
Kellan was my orientation leader in college. So he showed me around the campus at Boston University, and I thought he was very cool, and I was very intimidated by him. And when he asked if I sang, I was like, oh, I mean, a little. And I joined the Acapella group that he was in, and we've been friends ever since.
Did you guys click instantly, like the first time you looked at him? Did you think that's going to be my future roommate?
I looked at him and said, I don't know about this kid. I'm kidding. We, we had a quick conversation during orientation and just chatted very surface level, but, we definitely hit it off well. And then when he joined the Acapella group that fall, it was pretty quick that we were like, all right, we're going to be pretty good buddies here. And we got along really well. So it was a good start.
Awesome. Can you tell us more about your Acapella experience in college?
Yeah. So it was the BU Troublemakers was our Acapella group. It's a co-ed group. We ranged anywhere from 14 to 20 members at any one time. And it was like being in a, just a group that's together all the time. Like in college, we had 2 nights of 3-hour rehearsals a week. We hung out every night on the weekend. We hung out and got dinners together during the week. And it was just like, you were there for singing, but you were also there kind of in a family.
It was like family. part friend group, part frat, part, singing band. But it was right in 2012. And so it was just as like Pitch Perfect came out, and the acapella scene, I think, changed so rapidly, so quickly. It became so much more professional and a lot fewer like guys in vests like snapping. So we were lucky to kind of be right at the turning point of that.
So what inspired you guys to collaborate together? Did you both know you wanted to be musicians or in a band growing up?
Yeah, so it's funny. We sort of had different paths for that. So I never really did anything musical until I got to college. I sang for fun on my own, but never thought of doing anything like a musical at school or choir or anything like that. Not for any particular reason. I just never went down that path. And when I got to college, I was like, this is a good chance to sing in a more organized fashion, and I loved it. And then after college, I didn't do it for probably, 4 or 5 years until quarantine hit, and Kevin and I were living together, and we said, let's make some music. But Kev, your path's a little bit different.
Yeah, I did like choir and theater and stuff in high school. And so moving into college, I kind of knew like, oh, I'd love to keep this going. And I've, kicked around in little like rock bands just since I was like 14. So it's funny that of all the things that I've been like, this is going to be like the thing, that it's Kellan and Kevin, and it's us like Swiffering our apartment and singing Rihanna songs.
Kevin has been a part of a number of bands before, and all of the music they've made is absolutely fantastic and phenomenal. So what were some of those bands? just in
Oh,
case anyone's listening and wanted to dive back.
There's one called Hotel Mystic. That's on
Hotel
Spotify,
Mystic.
and that's the latest.
Very good music.
Thanks.
Nice, nice. Did you guys ever have like The Voice or American Idol on your radar?
Yeah.
I think we can talk about it now, which is exciting because
Yeah.
the American Idol promos came out, and we were like, oh, I guess we didn't get in. So,
We got a call probably in October about auditioning for American Idol, and we said, you know what, let's give it a try. And so we did an audition through Zoom, kind of like this, and it was really nerve-wracking. And
we were both like deeply sweaty, and kept being like, how do I look? Do I look good? Do I look like fun?
went through many outfits, went through many warm-ups, and then that night we got a call back. So we were like, oh my God, this might be happening.
Right.
And then we did the callback. So we did another day of sweating and putting on different clothes and practicing.
We were like, do we do new songs? Do we do the same songs? What do they want? Oh my God.
And then we never heard anything. And then, like Kevin was saying a couple of weeks ago, we saw the promos for the new season. We were like, well, I guess that's it.
I mean, who was in the room with you guys? Was it the judges right away, or was it producers?
No,
It
it
was-
was a couple of producers, which was cool and exciting just because it was people who like were really into it and seemed like they liked what we were doing and stuff. So they were super. They were nothing but really, really nice. And it's going to be an interesting season to see how they pull it off with COVID and quarantine.
Definitely. At least you guys didn't have to fall in line for hours out in the cold. Like,
I know.
That was why we did it. I think was that we were like, well, skip the line a little bit.
Yeah.
if you don't mind me asking, what was your audition song? Like the first one you did?
Okay. I'm trying to remember because did we do two?
We did.
Two
We did Aladdin. We did A Whole New World together. We were like,
we
they'll
sang
love this.
together.
And we like, yeah, and we like, like kind of embraced at the end and stuff. And the woman who was kind of our handler said, "Oh, do that again for the callback, please. Do Aladdin again." So
Yeah.
they liked that.
It was fun. It was a fun little skit.
Oh, that's cute.
I think you can sort of imagine us being like, we've been friends for 10 years, and then like Kellan getting on, and then me getting chopped, and having to go home.
They were no longer friends. I'm just kidding.
I'll still support my buddy.
So let's say the both of you weren't doing music and you went on different paths. What would you guys be doing and why?
Well, we actually, it's funny. We keep up with TikTok. We post once a day. We do a lot of vlogs. We obviously are making music, but we both have pretty successful careers on the side of that, or I guess
That's what for me is limited.
you gotta keep it up high. Kevin is managing an entire Blue Bottle coffee shop by himself. He basically, it just opened up a new store, so he's running it. That's why he's there now, crushing it. And I do video production for the Boston Red Sox. So I would, if it weren't for the music thing, I'm doing content creation on my own for the team, for sports, that whole thing too. So we're very kind of like, we've got a lot of things going on.
Yeah, I mean, we very much have day jobs, which is, an exciting. It's exciting in that it gets to feel like the TikTok stuff is like a superpower, and that we, don our cloaks at night.
That's a good way to put it.
Well, Kellan, speaking of what you do there, I was looking through your TikTok, and the very first videos I saw, you did a lot of like video editing and animating, similar to what we see with Zach King. And I was wondering, have you guys ever thought of like combining your singing, your harmonizing with that editing?
Honestly, we should do that. I love where now. See, now you're inspiring me. Look at this. This is great. A little think tank here. I love Zach King and what he does. And obviously he was huge on Vine. He's huge everywhere now, but on TikTok, he's huge as well. And so that was a huge inspiration for me early on. And so if you go back that far in the TikTok, you'll see like, I was just kind of making things and posting them and seeing what happened. And then, nothing stuck there until me and Kevin really took this new brand and push it out. But yeah, that early inspiration was huge. So to find a way to incorporate that into the singing, wow, we might have to get creative here.
Yeah,
I love that idea.
Want to do that.
Yeah, honestly, I love it.
So we're now at the segment of the show that we like to call past, present, and future, where we'll be exploring three different periods of your life. So I need to ask you guys, how do you see yourself now, and how does it compare to the person you were 5 years ago?
I I see myself now as someone who is fortunate enough to get to work very hard and enjoy what I do in a couple of areas. Like we said, like I like my day job to a large extent, which is like a lucky break. Most people don't, I think. Um, and then I get to have fun with my friend, and people respond to it in this like loving, kind, engaged way. So I really couldn't feel luckier, and I couldn't feel more fortunate to be in this position. And then 5 years ago, I think I felt really, really lost. I just left college. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I'd started working in LA as like an assistant and just like got yelled at every day, which was like not my thing. Didn't love that. And took all these really long walks to be like, who am I and what do I want to do? And sort of, I think if I'd gotten to pick then, it would be something like the life that I have now. I think if I could meet myself 5 years ago, I think we'd both just be like, whoa, how did that happen? And I wouldn't have any answers for him really as to what I did, but I would be able to be like, it works out pretty nicely, which is exciting. It's good to be able to say that. It's unbelievable.
Isn't it interesting to go back and look at the different crossroads you hit and how they turn your life into a different way? I mean, I honestly echo the same thing Kevin's saying, in that in the present, I feel incredibly privileged and lucky to be doing a day job with my work with the Red Sox that I absolutely love. I get up in the morning excited to do my job, excited to go to work, excited to tackle that day's adventure.
You're a pretty excited guy. I mean,
that's true. And my base level is pretty high, but on top of that, it's something I love so much. And honestly, 5 years ago, my life was both extremely different and also kind of the same. I was still with the Red Sox then. I was out of college, but I was also in a long-term relationship at that point. I thought my life was going one direction, and then it took a major turn. And I wouldn't have ended up moving in with Kevin or started this whole thing if certain things didn't go certain ways. So it's just interesting to look back and see how little decisions here and there can take you down a totally different road, and something unexpected could happen. Like obviously the quarantine we all have lived through, but then also something exciting like being able to create this original music that we've been making and building a brand in this fun and adventurous way.
Yeah, I think we think a lot about like the unexpected as a negative thing, right? Like the unexpected happens and it like ruins some elements of your life or takes something away from you. And it's been cool to be like, something unexpected could happen and that you do an amazing thing that like reaches all of these people and that people like that
Right.
is unexpected. I'd never really considered that, oh, maybe a good thing could be unexpected too.
Definitely. Yeah, it's always the unexpected things that yield the most excitement. I mean, look, the pandemic, no one really expected this to affect us this drastically, but look at you guys. You guys posted on TikTok. A lot of people started going on TikTok and kind of became an entrepreneur with their own media and what they post.
Totally.
Yeah, we were very much in the right place at the right time. I mean, it's total happenstance.
Mm-hmm.
So taking that into mind, how do you think things will be for you two in 5 years?
Oh man.
A bitter falling out.
Oh, no, of course not. Of course not. Jeez, I mean, 5 years it is crazy because you start by looking back 5 years and you go, wow, a lot has changed. So to go ahead 5 years, oh my gosh. I mean, hopefully we're out of the pandemic. We'll see. You know what? My hope is on a very broad scale that at least for Kellan and Kevin as an entity, that we gave it our all, no matter what comes of it, whether we are able to put out a lot more music or just a little bit, and that we had fun doing so, and we were able to maintain a friendship throughout all that. Because a lot of times you can start something and it can grow and grow and grow and snowball, and it can grow out of your control. And what we have right now is something that we do because we love it and it's fun, and I want it to stay that way for as long as we can keep it.
Yeah, I think we're lucky enough to not have a ton of other responsibilities right now. And so in 5 years, it's easy to think that like, the Kellan and Kevin thing could still be crushing it, or it's, we could move on. You can't be a TikToker forever, and you don't want to be, honestly. So we're pretty comfortable with that.
Yeah.
All right. So in your day-to-day lives, what principles do you guys say you live your life by?
Ooh.
Hmm.
I'd say my biggest, well, there's a couple. One is being genuine. I think you got to be upfront with people, got to be honest with people, and you got to, if you look at what we do on TikTok, we're not really putting on a show. I mean, there are little things here and there that may not, it's part of the fun of it where you're not acting, but you're playing things up for the excitement of the video or whatever. But what we make is us. I mean, we're basically just turning the cameras on our normal selves. This is how we act. We sing when we're just hanging around the house. Everything that we do is very genuine in that sense. So I like to live my life in that way. Everything that I do should have that feel of genuine positivity. I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling there, but that's how I like to live my life.
Yeah, and Kellan's really inspired me to be a more positive person and to frame things in a much more positive way. So I've really tried to take that on as a principle that I try to live my life by, is just being positive and being open-minded, that, good things can happen. And I try to just keep that in my brain, just kind of on a slow turn at all times, even if I'm feeling bad or gross or upset. So it's a big benefit of being Kellan's friend, for sure.
Wow. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Thank
High
you.
praise. You're welcome.
So I think this is a perfect segue to a question I actually had in mind. So you guys have the attention of millions of people on the internet. You have 1.2 million followers on TikToks, millions of views on YouTube. What is one thing that you want your followers to know about you that isn't necessarily reflected in your posts?
That's a good question.
Great question. Oh man.
Well, this isn't as broad, but I think we're both people who have a lot of very close friends, and we're also both very close with our family as well. And I think people might see us and think that we're the only people that we spend our time with, but
we live on a little set.
Yeah, in actuality, we both spend a lot of time with good personal friends and with our family, and that means a lot to us. And so to have their support too has been amazing through all this. I don't know if that fully answers the question, but I think that's something that is worth mentioning.
Yeah, I mean, I think like it is funny to try to imagine what people think about us if having only watched our videos. Like Kellan and I really can't look at ourselves with that lens because we obviously see each other in totality. I think I'd like people to know how like just deeply normal we are. Anytime we get asked questions, we've been like interviewed just a couple times now, not a lot. People are always like, so is it like exciting? And we're like, no, we like work during the quarantine and then we go home and we're tired and then we go to bed. Like it's just so like, it's so deeply boring in our house. We watch Friends a lot. I mean, I think that's what people don't see. It's just,
yeah, it's funny. It's funny that if your only insight into our lives is just the TikTok videos and just what we put out, it's like there's so much more not exciting things that happen in your normal life. But that's what makes it fun and exciting, is that, if you look at, let's take someone, so we watch Friends. So let's take Jennifer Aniston, for example, right? Like there is probably so much of her life that is just hanging around, not doing much, listening to music, cooking, where it's just normal life outside of what they do in their normal job, or if it's like a professional athlete in the same way. So it's kind of, it's funny because we don't think of ourselves like that at all, but we just live this normal life and do this fun thing. And then there's such a scale to that where it can hit extremes.
And what Kellan is saying is that in all ways, we are both just like Jennifer Aniston. We are the same.
Obviously a different level here, but I'm doing the comparison.
So I think, speaking of friends and families, what are you guys grateful for?
I mean, I do think the thing that the pandemic has really slowed my life down in a major way, and really allowed me to focus on the people that I'm grateful for. So I had a day where I'm lucky enough to have both my parents still living, and I have a sister who I talk to pretty regularly. And I just remember I'd sort of separately and for all different reasons talked on the phone with each one of them. And I got off the phone and was like, wow, that's what an incredible thing that I get to do that. And I won't always be able to say that. And it's that weird, that it's kind of a sad thought, but it's also just trying to be present and realizing, how lucky you are in those moments. So I'm definitely really grateful that I have the people I love in my life right now.
Yeah, I feel the same. I actually just came home from a weekend with my family, and it was so nice to just escape. I mean, obviously, we live in the city here in Boston, so it's nice to escape that for a little while and just get to slow down. Obviously, things have been slow for the last year compared to normal, but to take a little bit of time and just be with the people you love. And I put my phone away even for a while and just was there laughing, telling stories, hanging out. And it was like, man, this is so great. And I feel so lucky to be able to do this and have these moments with friends and family. And that really, that's both incredibly, it feels incredibly nice to have that. And it inspires me to keep going and keep working harder so that I can make those people proud.
Yeah. And especially like, I just think it's hard to not mention COVID. I'm sure it comes up on every episode you guys do, that it's affecting people, but like Kellan's vaccinated. I have an appointment now, and like, it's weird to think about going back to full steam life. I mean, in some way, I'm
Right.
grateful for the opportunity to like, I'm grateful that the pandemic for me was like getting to take some time to, be by myself and Kellan and I to make this great thing. Like that's
Right.
a lucky break for us.
Right.
Definitely. Yeah, we're grateful for that too, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. That you guys get to do this. I mean, it's the same
Right.
thing. Like it makes, we're lucky in that it made us more creative, and that's what a privilege.
Definitely. I definitely feel like the pandemic pushed people out of their comfort zones. People had to just make the most of what they had around them. I mean, me, I graduated last year from college. It's not the best time to graduate during a pandemic, and sometimes you have to make your own opportunities. And I think things like this, making a podcast, making TikToks, it inspires people to get out of their comfort zones and to create something.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at literally what we're doing right now, if it weren't for, not to say the pandemic's good, because obviously a lot of people are sick and have passed away, unfortunately. But to look at the bright side of a dark thing, we wouldn't even be having this conversation, if we both didn't build these ways to pass the time and let our creativity out and build a passion project. And now you've been able to do that. We've been able to do that. We're chatting now, and it's really empowering.
Yeah, we'd all just be watching Zach King videos.
Yeah.
Because he already did it.
So now we've come to the question of the show where we get our title from. If you were to leave something in a time capsule for people to dig up 100 years later, what would you put in there and why?
Wow.
You can't put a TikTok in a time. It's not gonna work. They're not gonna know.
Maybe it could be a digital time capsule.
Floppy disk. Just one TikTok on.
That's
Jeez.
It's such a good. I mean, it really is a great question. 100 years.
21.
Would it? 21,
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
21. Yeah, you're right. Wow. Oh man. Are you thinking of something?
I am. I mean, I'd probably just write a little note and try to run down like, here's how things are going, here's how things are feeling. It's been such a crazy 365 days. I really do think that like 2020 will be talked of in this wild way, and I think being able to write a little thing about like, which you guys are sort of doing on this podcast. Like, here's what happened to me this year. It, I think, would be probably the most interesting thing I could offer.
Yeah, and I guess I think kind of the same thing, but I would do it in a digital means, as I was saying. Like, this is what I would do, and who knows if they'd be able to play it in 100 years, but I'd make a video and I would just like almost like a day in the life vlog, right? And just show what life is like. Because imagine if you could see that from 100 years ago, what life was like, how cool that would be. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to play that technology, and who knows if they would then. But I would just want to like show day-to-day life, even just people sitting around, not putting on any performance, just casual life, and then let that go off into the world so people could see how things have changed. That's my answer.
Yeah, and that's definitely important because even today, like, people want to go back in history. I wonder what the 1960s were like. Was it what, like,
Right.
hippies? Did people like the Beatles? What kind of stuff was going on?
Right.
And so, like,
I mean, imagine seeing just a candid video of some people hanging out from even the 60s. Because a lot of what you see is documentaries, you see movies, all that stuff, but you don't just see a couple buddies hanging out, chatting, doing their thing.
I mean,
I'd love to see that.
Like, our grandkids will be like, what was grandpa like? Oh, well, he like sang with his friend.
Right. They'll be able to see it.
Here's his TikTok.
Yeah.
Right. I know, that's wild.
generation where we have like video evidence of things going on in our lives.
Of
I
us
know.
all of us in middle school. Like, I mean,
It's
it's
wild.
frightening.
Different time.
I mean, yeah, I guess we're making our own time capsule right now, aren't we? With all the stuff we're putting on the internet.
pretty much if TikTok, hopefully TikTok is still alive.
Right. If the internet's still going strong, it'll be up there somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be great for us.
But Kevin brought up an important point too. So you were thinking about, you said like which TikTok, right? Like you were thinking about putting a TikTok video in the time capsule. But if you guys were to choose just one video from all the TikToks that you've posted, which one would you put in that time capsule?
I mean, I feel like it's got to be the first one we ever did, right?
Yeah, that or your Halo, where we're really just hitting our stride and like having fun in the old apartment.
True.
Something like that, where
Yeah, and the story behind both of those is the first one that we did almost exactly a year ago was singing Britney Spears' "Hit Me Baby One More Time," and Kevin, I don't know if I had been annoying him or just singing a lot that day, but I started singing it as I'm recording a TikTok just for fun. He gets up and walks out of the room and turns around at the last minute and harmonizes with me, and we woke up the next morning to like 8,000 followers, and we were like, "What the heck is going on?" So that's the story behind that one. And then the Halo one, we did Halo by Beyonce. And it was the first time that like an hour after posting, we looked at our phones and we were like, whoa, this has a ton of views. What's going on? And it just did really well. And we were really like, okay, this is definitely working. Let's keep this moving.
Right. That's crazy. Imagine just looking at your phone and seeing the alerts blow up.
And,
pretty exciting.
and now it's all we do. It ended up ruling our lives. So, pretty crazy.
Well, we are nearing the end of our show now, but of course we can't let you guys go yet until we hear a little singing sample from the two of you.
I'll sing a little something because it'll be tough to harmonize over this. I wonder if that would work. It might be tough. My loneliness is killing me, and I must confess, I still believe. There it is.
I think harmony kicked in.
Maybe.
Yeah, you can sync the sound.
Britney Spears. Yeah, Britney Spears is awesome.
That was the OG talk that really took things off for us.
Nice.
Awesome.
I'd love to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Do you guys have any upcoming projects that you want our viewers to know about, people to keep an eye out for?
So we put out a couple songs on Spotify that people can check out. It's just under Kellan and Kevin. We have new music kind of just brewing. It's just in the works, so nothing that's set for release quite yet. But we're putting out vlogs as much as we can on our YouTube channel. So that's also Kellan and Kevin. You can check us out on YouTube. We have a bunch of videos.
Live covers, it's like full covers of songs and stuff on there. So if you just
exactly,
you're hungry for hours more long content, we got you.
Exactly. And more TikToks every day. So just trying to keep the train moving.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Cool.
All right. Well, Kellan, Kevin, thanks so much for being a part of our time capsule. And thank you to all our viewers for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And of course, if you're not already following and looking at Kellan and Kevin's videos, please make sure you are. Tune in again next week to meet another amazing addition to our time capsule. See you next time.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.